The best time of the year? When the leaves are falling, and so is your IQ. Because you're listening to the Alan Cox Show.
On 100.7
WMMS.
I got another $1,000 for it in a few minutes. Dead Kennedys. The song's called Holiday in Cambodia. I was never a huge Dead Kennedys fan. I like them enough, but the drummer's name was D.H. Peligro. It's a guy named Darren Henley who he wasn't the founding drummer of the Dead Kennedys, but I think he played for them longer than anybody else. And since I was playing the drums, I was always picking those things up. And he just kind of had this awesome stop-start kind of thing. And he died, D.H. Peligro, for people who are familiar with him. He spent some time with the Chili Peppers. After the Dead Kennedys broke up, the Chili Peppers hadn't blown up yet, and so he replaced their founding drummer. But they kicked him out of the Chili Peppers because he was doing too many drugs. Imagine getting kicked out of the Chili. Well, Hillel Slovak, I think, had just died, and so that was probably still very much a raw nerve for them. And but D.H. Peligro, when the Dead Kennedys got back together in the early aughts, he was with them. And he was only 63. He died from a fall. I always think that's got to be the worst way to die. Just anybody it could happen to anybody. I mean, I know any form of death could happen to anyone, but if somebody gets hit by a city bus, it's bad news. But you're a lot less likely to die that way than just falling in your home or slipping or something. He fell at his house, hit his head, and died from whatever the ensuing issues were. So if you were into the Dead Kennedys at all, I don't think he ever recorded with the Chili Peppers. I know he wrote a lot of the stuff on Mother's Milk. But if you were, and there weren't a lot of black guys in punk and hardcore, by the way. You had the Bad Brains in D.C., and you had a couple other dudes. You had Vernon Reid, Pre-Living Color, but not a lot of representation, and D.H. Peligro was one of those guys. And I had friends that were like heavily into the Dead Kennedys, and they were not around that long in their first iteration. They were only around 6-7 years. And then they split up, and everybody sued everybody else, and I think they buried their respective hatchets, and everybody came back together. But anytime I see somebody, because I didn't even see it until I saw like Flea and all these other guys sending out their RIPs and, sorry to hear and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh my God, that sucks.
You have this t-shirt.
I have a Holiday in Cambodia t-shirt, yeah.
Also, my grandma just fell down and she didn't even die. She's 94.
That's what I mean. Like if you fall.
That's crazy that this dude in his 60s was, he wasn't in that
Yeah, but she didn't hit her head.
She hit some stuff.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
she might have hit her head.
If you land the wrong way,
She broke a bone.
Yeah. But yeah, so he
she's
fell
not in
and
tip-top shape.
Well, that's what I mean. Like if you're an old person, a lot of times if you fall, like my grandmother fell a couple of times. She was living by herself until she was 102. So yeah, she'd fall a couple times, but people that old, they just kind of crumple. Their bones are like pretzels anyway, so it's like they're gonna, but this guy, he slips, hits his head. There's so many veins in your
the Bob
scalp.
Saget thing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's like when you cut your, head injuries always look worse than they are because you have so many veins in your head. You can get a minor cut in your scalp and it looks like you got decapitated.
Well, that was the secret to all the blood in pro wrestling in the 90s where they'd give themselves little tiny cuts on the head and it would bleed like crazy because it's...
They still do that.
Right down their face.
I don't know if they do that anymore.
That's what
I don't know
told.
that they're cutting themselves anymore.
That's what Brian said. He said that's all real blood, that they do the same thing at like their hairline and then it
Oh,
bleeds
man,
down
okay.
their face.
Well, I'll trust his. I don't know anything about it.
Because I was like, yo, this is a lot of
I saw
blood.
The Wrestler. Yeah, so anyway, if you were a fan of that band, that's a real bummer of a story. Because he was pretty instrumental
Hey.
in that band early on. Yeah, no, but it's like you have to fall the exact wrong way.
Yeah. Or
You have
hit
to fall,
something.
hit your head. Yeah, it's something that, because there are a lot of places on your head you can hit, and you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But you hit the wrong spot. I don't know.
I was always I remember being told about the soft spot on babies' heads, and just being terrified.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That
Like, I don't
Me
wanna
too.
touch it.
I still don't hold kids
Like,
to this day.
it's like
You don't hold them like a bowling ball
I
by the head?
I look like the exact person that does not hold kids very often because every time I'm just very stiff. I'm like not like any. I don't look comfortable holding a child.
Well, you probably don't hold a child very often.
Well,
That's not your fault.
Well, I have a nephew. I have two cousins, which I also consider my nieces. So they're constantly around, and when they were just babies that were constantly being held, they're like, "Want to hold them?" I'm like, "Nope," and they're like, "I think you should probably hold them." I'm like, "Don't," because I'm literally hands out like this.
Babies
They're
are
like,
also kind of made of rubber too,
Can't
so
do
it's
much
like,
with it. Just hold their head.
yeah,
I
They're
get
get the
not
head up.
scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the best idea to be having Poundcake around kids holding kids.
I think
You know,
that there are times and places for.
Hey, I molest children.
Not now, Poundcake, please.
Not babies.
Baby.
Not babies. What's the age limit?
No, stop! Don't. Hey, I molest children. 18 is plenty.
You know that's not a child anymore. A baby is a child.
I don't do that.
how's things going with your new boy toy?
Sucking it dry.
Ugh.
Well,
No, that's good enough for me.
yeah, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
Big ones, small ones, skinny ones, tall ones, brown ones, black ones, round ones, fat ones.
Wait, he says black ones.
I would love to get sucked up. These are awful. And then when I got a big load, I go put it in there.
How is it going with you and your? Was he a fellow pharaoh at the? Was he with you at the party?
No, I asked him, did he want to come? And he said,
Oh, you were
no.
flying solo.
Yeah, I went solo, but it's fine. I don't expect those are boyfriend duties almost, like going to parties.
Bill, he said duty.
Yeah.
Did you hear him? He said duty.
It's
Oh man, it's like poop.
Yeah, going to parties with someone, meeting their friends, meeting their family, like that.
You've been talking for a
is what-
while now, right? Couple months?
Yeah, but it's still, again, I don't want to hop into that because every time I've rushed into it, it's always bit me in my ass.
Why
I'm
is
just
that
not-
rushing into it? You go to a party, you introduce your friends, and then if they're done the next week, you go, he's not around anymore.
Well, I asked him. He said no. So
No, yeah, that's fine,
So
but I mean-
I'm not going to harp on the situation. But I don't. Again, he is not obligated to. I haven't met his
I
family
understand.
yet, and he hasn't met mine.
Well, this wasn't family. You were talking about friends.
These were friends, but I haven't met his friends either. Last time I talked to him, he was like at Halloween weekends. I was like, okay, enjoy yourself.
Oh,
Tell your friend to-
he's keeping you a secret. You're
No, I
keeping. Yeah, he's keeping you a secret.
No, he's not.
Mm.
He's not keeping.
Didn't want to take you to Halloween weekends.
Mm,
He
sounds like a secret.
He didn't ask.
Didn't even ask. Hey, I got $1,000 here. It's a chance for you to go fund yourself. Do with it whatever you want. There's plenty of chances to win. This is just your most recent. So listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword WIN at WMMS.com. That's WIN. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Speaking of people dying, a wild story out of Colorado where the lawyer who was defending a club in a shooting case was killed at the club. For there's a strip club. The topless club Shotgun Willie's in Colorado. I think this is in Longmont or somewhere. Glendale, Colorado. A 70-year-old lawyer named George Long. He was basically their lawyer. Like anytime something happened, you own a strip club, you got to have a guy on retainer because there's always going to be something going on. The money that is made in strip clubs, it must be amazing because I can't imagine wanting to run one because seeing boobies on the locals is got to get real old real quick, and there's always something happening that you have to get your lawyer on the phone. There's just girls getting harassed and dudes getting drunk and, all of the things that coalesce into just nonstop headaches. Owning a regular bar would be enough of a headache.
I had some appearances at a strip club a few years ago, and just interacting with the manager, and like while we were talking, dancers would come in and they don't even know me, but they just unload every problem they have on this guy, and he's like, all right, like just so much drama, and it was fun for me because I'm like, I don't have to deal with this, but like it was a lot.
Well, I assume that because this guy was a strip club's lawyer, that he was probably there all the time. Mm-hmm. There's a reason where you really want to represent a strip club, right? You're that guy. He was defending the club against a guy, the family of a guy who was shot and killed in their parking lot. And in the middle of that lawsuit, the lawyer got killed or died. Wow. They think he had a heart attack. He was just drinking very heavily and acting weird. Even the girls were like, yeah, he's coming in and drinking with us and wanted to play cards. And, they said he only had 2 or 3 drinks, but in the span of a couple of hours. And then one of the bartenders, he got really drunk really quickly. And they thought that maybe he had taken mushrooms because it seemed like he was hallucinating. They were like, it seemed like it went beyond just being drunk. Hammered, yeah. And they said he was not making sense. And so they went back and checked on him. They said sometimes he would stay in his car in the parking lot. And they wanted to check on him, and he was dead. That's crazy. So now they got to find a new lawyer. I mean, I'm sure this guy wasn't working on this case alone, but, he went to Harvard. I mean, he's a legit guy, I
went on a few dates with a guy who insisted on doing his business at strip clubs. So he would tell me all the time, he'd be like, I'm taking a client to lunch at this strip club.
The amazing food at strip clubs.
That's what he said. He was like,
the articles in Playboy.
It's like legit. Like their food, they got really good
Some
food.
Some places do have really good food.
But if someone asks to
But some places have really awful food too.
If you're brand new business, right? You're meeting this guy for the first time. And he's like, hey, let's meet at the strip club. That wouldn't raise an eyebrow from you?
I think some guys think that makes them look like a player.
Yeah.
How?
Because they're talking to the girl. If they go there all the time, then when they bring a client, they look like Johnny Big Balls because the girls talk to him.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's like a whole other kind of thing. I mean, that's...
I was uncomfortable.
You
I was
have to...
what type of business you're doing, though.
That, and you have to assume that the client...
would be into it, too.
Yes.
What if they're not? And then now you just lost the client. You're like, hey, meet me at this place. And they show up and they're like, you said they had a food special?
I'm taking the head of the Catholic universities over to the
like
Peppermint Rhino or whatever.
When you're talking about the money that the strip clubs make, though, I told you about my very first shift at Hollister that I had to go to a strip club to get one. Did I tell you that?
You had to go. You were working at Hollister, and you had to go. Why to the strip club?
My very first day at Hollister was Black Friday, and I had to go with my supervisor, my manager, who was a female. And right across the street from the mall was a strip club, and
Belden Village.
What was that?
Were you at Belden Village?
How did you know?
Because I know there's a strip club right.
Yeah, how many strip clubs are across the street from malls?
Yes, it
probably
was.
a pretty small circle.
So literally.
Also, I listened to the show.
But this was years ago. I talked about that.
Yeah, well, he listens.
But yeah, no, my very first shift, her boss told her, go to there. She's like, I'm not going there, ill. And so they took me because they obviously knew I was gay. And I walked in and I was like, hi, sir. I'm in my Hollister outfit. And I'm like, hi, sir. Is there any way we can get some ones? We're working Black Friday and we're all out.
He's like, you're in luck. All the girls dancing are ones.
And he kind of, he looked at me.
Let me laugh.
All right, go ahead.
He just looked at me so confused, and then the girl comes in with her little bob and her bag of money, and he's like, come into my office. And I'm just thinking, how much money could it possibly be? And she gets back in the car, she's like, I feel like I just robbed a bank.
It's all cash.
Yeah, I've never seen that much money.
That's why it's so tempting for people to do stuff they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen that much money.
I just don't know why you'd want
bag.
those hassles. I mean, whatever. Yeah. And so you were in like a golf shirt and khakis? Is that what it was back then?
I had a flannel,
Yeah.
some ripped jeans, and then I had the bottoms had to be folded. You had to fold the bottom of your jeans, and then I had like some slip-on shoes, and that was my very first.
Hey guys, you have any singles? I came in to get some change.
But it just
There's no bank around you?
not at that. It was Black Friday. It was like the
see.
night of.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was Thanksgiving night still.
Gotcha.
And I was starting my shift, so no banks are open.
Yeah.
And people were lining up, and they're like, guys, we don't have enough cash. We don't have enough ones. And I wanted to do the money phone so bad. I was like, can I please? She's like, no. I was like, please. I did this for you. Can I just take a stack and just take a picture with it? But
Take a picture with a stack of ones?
Money phone.
It was
where
a
you
big-
hold the stack of
What
hundreds.
is a stack of ones?
Yeah. It's still
Money
see
phone?
hundreds.
But it was like thousands of them.
He's got a stack is $112.
Yeah,
All
look at
down to his ear.
It doesn't. They're not
Yeah.
going to see the exact ones. They're just gonna see
Netflix subscription for a year right
Yep.
here, guys.
Yeah. My money phone is prepaid with 112 ones. Oh, boy. The things that pass for flexing. Now, but you live to tell the tale.
Yeah, my very first shift at Hollister.
Hey, Woody.
Alan,
Yes.
strip club lawyers are doing a show at the Beach for next Friday.
Yeah, I know they are. I already got my tickets. I'm going to get upgraded to floor by Live Nation.
Happy Halloween, my
Actually.
friend. Happy Halloween, Bill and Mary.
Yo, happy
you.
Halloween.
Are you dressing, Woody, are you dressing up for Halloween?
No, I'm not. I'm kind of. I'm kind of over that kind of whole thing.
Understood. Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
I might drink some.
I was going to say,
Grey
you
Goose
will
and-
get scary drunk, won't you?
I might drink some Grey Goose and pureed candy corn for the event.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
Grey
cute.
Goose and candy corn. It's cone.
But hey, you guys are talking about falls, that cause death. The Dick Kennedy's drummer, passed
Yeah.
away from a fall.
Yeah.
I'm a roofer, and it's just amazing to me how, whether it's just falling down from your feet or falling down off of a step ladder or falling. Because I personally know two guys that have fallen 30 feet.
I'm sure you have,
and
yeah. It'd be terrifying.
And they, and they got, they got screwed up a little bit, but they're fine and dandy. A broken wrist here, there, a broken, two broken ankles. But 30 feet in the air, you fall to the ground, and these guys are walking out like nothing. But and then somebody slips and falls and bangs their head on the sidewalk, and it's all over. It's
Sure.
pretty amazing how.
That's how Artie Lang's dad ended up paralyzed.
There's guys listening.
Yeah, wasn't there a news anchor in Cleveland, and her husband fell from a 4-foot step ladder?
Yeah, like Stephanie Schaefer or somebody like that. Yeah.
Is that who I'm thinking of?
I think he
it
has
was
since passed away. Yeah. But what were you saying, Bill?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, there's guys that are listening to this that are premium subscribers to Mary's Feet. And they're like, ooh, 30 feet, say it again.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you, Woody. I
300
got
toes.
Happy Halloween there. I got to take a break. If you want to text 35192, AlanCoxShow.com, you can watch live there. And you can listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you